Good afternoon, automotive enthusiast. I welcome you to my channel. If you are new here, I wanted to go ahead and introduce myself to you. I am Peter, your Audi S3 fanatic, and what you will find on my channel are going to be DIYs on specific vehicles that I have owned or that I am currently working on. Now, today's project, I'm going to welcome you CT200H owners to this group here. I will be working on my CT200, and what we have planned is an upgrade to the stock navigation system. A company from China sent me some things to review and to install on the CT. What we have is a much larger navigation screen update. In my past vehicles, I'm used to having a larger display that has more functionality. With my CT being a 2012, it was a nice luxury to have the navigation, but unfortunately the MMI system is very antiquated. So we'll go ahead and upgrade that. And what we have in stock today is kind of ripping out some stuff. This directly was shipped from China. I have kind of mounting plate, and kind of here is going to be the brains of the unit. Here is a 10.3 inch display which will go into CT, and I'm looking forward to doing that. And what else is going to come in the package is a bunch of wiring harnesses and such that attaches to the car. Now, I'm a little disappointed in the fact that there is no directions on how to install this, but I was able to source out from YouTube a couple of different videos that I'll post the links, because I do want to give proper credit to guys that have already done some of the dismantling of the CT. So I'll use a couple of videos to help me kind of tear apart some of the dash, pulling out the old navigation system and trying to put this one in. So without further ado, my friends, let's go ahead and get started on this project. Alright guys, so the very first step that you want to do is you want to remove this center piece here. Now, the way to access it is you do need to have a little prying tool, and what I suggest that you do, you can kind of see that mine is popped off a little bit. I did it ahead of time so I can show you the correct way to do it. But you're going to open up your glove box, and over here there's going to be a little opening that you want to put your prying tool in and essentially unclip it, and you'll see how this kind of popped out. From there, you're just going to slowly work your way over to here, just like that. And I'll turn it around so you guys can see these clips will actually go straight in. So you do not want to push down. You want to actually pull it out. So this clip is off. The next thing that you want to do is you want to pull off your center guides here, and these will actually just pull out just like that. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll just grab it and we'll put these pieces aside. So now we have access to a majority of the items here. The very next step is you want to remove the center console here. The first thing, you want to simply unscrew the knob off. And using a prying tool, you're actually going to start from the back here, and I'll show you a photo of where you need to stick the prying tool to push up, and then what that does is it'll release the back end, and then you want to slowly kind of work your way to the front and pull this console out here. Now underneath there's going to be quite a few wires, and connections, you want to make sure that you remove those so that you have access to taking this whole unit off. Okay, not sure you guys can see it, but all the wiring is right down here. And I'm going to unclip it so that I can safely pull this apart. With the center console removed, we're going to go ahead and pull off the radio here. And there's going to be 4 10mm bolts, 2 on top, 2 in the bottom. I've removed the bolts here, and this part's going to be a little tricky as you need to pull it out, but the space constraint is very tight. So it's just, you got to kind of push it down and kind of wiggle it around and just kind of slowly pull it out and kind of dance it around. Now you guys can see that I have put painter's tape here. One of the videos that I had watched recommended it so that way you don't scratch it up. So it's a great idea. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of pull this radio out. And again, it's going to be caught up in a couple areas right here. So it's kind of a motion of going up and down and kind of getting it to different positions. Not impossible, but a little more challenging to do. So I have pulled it out, I believe, as much as I can. And from here, I am going to take a look at the very back and see what cables and connections I need to remove. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled out. The very next step is to remove the vent, and I found the best way to do it instead of going up here is you want to kind of go underneath here, and you'll open it up enough where you can get your fingers in there. There you go. So it took a little work to pull it out, and you want to disconnect the hazard switch. And set it aside. With the vent gone, what we'll go ahead and do is we'll remove the bezel. And I found that this tool works very well. There's going to be 3 clips here, and I just essentially just put it underneath like this and turned it, and you'll hear it pop. Just be gentle. Okay, so the front bezel or the front part of the bezel is good to go, and now you've got the rear to get to as well. Okay, now the outer portion of the bezel has been removed. Underneath you have 2 additional ones that's right here and here that's actually locked down. You want to use a long screwdriver or a flathead and kind of push it in so that it removes, or it allows you to get it unclipped. So here is the old bezel that I removed, and if you guys can kind of see here, this is the part that sticks out. You want to put a flathead screwdriver right here and push back, and what that does is it bends this so that you can pop the top portion of that bezel off. So a little complicated to do, but at least you guys know the nomenclature as to what needs to be done. So the next portion of the screen removal is on very top here, you've got this little plate that you can pop off with just a simple flathead screwdriver, and it will expose a total of 6 screws here and then 2 on top. So I went ahead and removed all the screws, and after kind of popping some things around or trying to position some things, I noticed that this is the very front portion of the screen that needs to come off. So this part will come off, and then from here you should be able to pull your screen out. So you guys can kind of see where it's starting to come out. So the screen is out, and there's going to be 3 wires here that you need to disconnect. So I went ahead and disconnected that, and we'll go ahead and set this aside and kind of figure out what is the next step from here. Okay guys, so I am kind of working around with the components that they give you here to figure out what goes where. And this bigger piece here with the much larger opening, it looks like it will go right in here. And again, this is just through the process of elimination. It goes right in here. This smaller piece here actually mounts to the head unit. So you've got 2 ends here that will go right in here, and it looks like it will just connect just like this here. And then they do provide you a couple screws that looks like it goes in there, and then I believe you have 2 smaller screws that go right in here. And then that unit will essentially just go in like such, like this here. And then this final piece goes like this, and it holds it up like that. So that's what the unit should look like once we have it all attached. And obviously this has got to be clipped, but I wanted to do a dry fit. So this part of the video, I wanted to show you guys just some generalized functionalities of the unit. We will go ahead and turn the car on. One of the first things that you're going to notice about the unit is the time frame or the lag that it takes to boot up. So let's go ahead and start it up. And again guys, I'm sorry about the delay that you're going to see here, but this is how long it takes for the unit to boot up. So nice display. The color rendition is pretty good. The widescreen appearance I do really like. And again, just kind of letting it boot up. This is probably one of the biggest annoyance as to how fast it takes. I believe this is supposed to be a quad-core processor, but I could be incorrect. Okay, so the system has booted up. You see the display that I've got all my doors open. I have set the unit to have my ways automatically pull up here, and it will essentially show you where it's located with the GPS. So kind of like an Android unit, if you hit one of these buttons here, it'll bring you back to the home screen. This car button here will take you back to what your home screen on the stock unit looks like. So here we're going back. Again, I'm going to click on all apps where we can do Bluetooth. I don't have my phone connected, but you can't connect it up here. We'll hit back. We've got an EQ setting here, which controls the treble, alto they call it, and then the bass. We can scroll through here, and if you're familiar with Android unit, you'll definitely see all these that come into play from the Play Store. And I, just for demonstration purposes, I will click on Play Store. So you can see your Play Store. We'll go ahead and go back. My Gmail account, I have my Waze, I have Pandora. I'll quickly click on YouTube so that you can see what YouTube looks like on here. And you guys just quickly saw how it actually just randomly closes itself out. That, I believe, is going to be a software issue and some of the quirks that are related to this unit, which I do not like. So I'll click it again. Alright, let's take a look here, guys. Yep, took a couple tries. Click on this video here from CarWow. You do have to remember to switch it over to the aux. And this is actually a perfect example of the issues that this particular unit has. As you can tell, there's no sound coming out. I do not know why. There's got to be some type of interference with this unit and the OEM unit where it has no sound. So what I literally have to end up doing, I have to turn the car off, quickly turn it back on. And we'll go back to the home screen. Make sure it's connected to aux. Go to YouTube. Hit play. And now you can hear sound. Now, I do want to emphasize it's not something that happens all the time, but out of 10 tries, you'll have this problem 3 times. So it can be a little annoyance, but again, just a demonstration of the video quality. Not too bad at all. So we'll go ahead and exit out of here. We'll go ahead and take a look at the weather. And as you can tell, this particular app does not work perfectly with this version of Android for the car. I don't know what version of Android they use, but for my phone, when I use the Yahoo app, I'm able to see many different aspects of the weather. And here, all I can see is obviously the temperature and the location. So not very good there. We'll go back and let's take a look at all apps again. We'll go to the Waze. And it boots up a little bit, and then you can kind of zoom in and out like such. So pretty nice feature to have here. I'll go ahead and get out of this here. Shut that down. We'll go to Google Maps. We'll do location. You can kind of move it around. Go back to home, back to apps, and you can go to, we clicked on settings. That brings you to automotive settings where you can adjust a few parameters. We can go to notification sound, language. All this is very similar to like an Android unit. But most of the time I am going to be using it as my navigation. And quickly I'll show you guys how to get back into the car's original. So this is going to be the car's original setup. You've got your destination, mapping here, and all this other stuff that you're used to. You've got the setup, you've got your climate control, and as you guys can tell, the mouse works with the OEM unit, but once you tap on it, it brings it back over to the Android unit. You lose your functionality of that remote because again, it's working off of your aux connection. So you do not have any of it, and it's just going to be a touch screen. So that in a nutshell, guys, is going to be the general use of the screen. Some of the nuances you're going to run into are communication errors. You're going to have some software glitches. So it is not a flawless system. Currently, the manufacturer has me set up on Android 7.0, and they will be sending me an update to 9.0. I don't know how big of a difference that's going to make, but in its current situation or Android version, it is acceptable. I can't say that I love it, but again, that may change. Let me just show you one last feature here, which is going to be the gauge. It's kind of, you know, you've got your speedometer, your RPMs, and it's all in kilometers. You can't change it. We'll just hit the back button and it brings you back here. So the size is nice, but it's really going to be up to you guys to determine if you want to proceed with the upgrade or not. Okay guys, so now you've had a chance to see how to install the upgraded navigation system in the CT, as well as seeing me kind of run through some of the operational features of the unit. It's really at a point where you decide if you want to make this upgrade or not. Now, cost-wise, it's not cheap. It's a very expensive unit in my opinion, but you kind of have to weigh some of the benefits that you have with the Android system and how it incorporates into the CT unit in itself, as well as the cost. For me, I will reiterate, it is not a cheap unit. I personally like it because I'm used to Android units. I love the size of the screen. I love using it for my navigation purposes and music. Would I do it again? That is really hard to say. If it was a little cheaper, it would definitely be a no-brainer. But in my opinion, with all the quirks that you're going to have using it, that's going to be a decision that you guys need to make. Now, I hope this video for this specific upgrade has been useful for you to make an educated decision as to whether you want to go through the trouble of installing this unit or not. Thank you for the support. Until the next time, my fellow CT200H owners, this is Peter, your Audi S3 fanatic, signing off.